So, when did you first learn about fruits and veggies and how beneficial they are to our health? As I've mentioned over and over again, our body is the vehicle for our truth. It is the vehicle for the message, divine message we are here to give on earth, and not only here to give, but here to be. We were created in the image of our creator. And our creator is love, and we are love, and we're here to show our love with our various gifts, our experiences, even the ones that we wondered when we're going through, what am I supposed to get for this? Our experiences, our talents, whether it's something that you draw, something that you sing, some dance or skill, some rapping that you have. It is through that we share the love that we are, the light that we are. And in order to be effective and efficient at sharing who we are, we must take care of our body. And we have these individual cells, these cells that make organs, tissues, organs, and then we have systems. And this month we're talking about digestive health. Now, granted, when you look on the health topics of the month, you will see gastroparesis. As I mentioned, the actual damage that can occur at the nerve level, because we have nerves throughout our body, even in our GI system, our gastrointestinal system, and they affect how our body digests food and how it carries through the digestive system, the stomach, the small intestines, the large intestines, and eventually, as we produce waste, we release waste. And so I don't want to focus again so much on the issue or the problem, even though talking about it will a lot of times often help the problem that you're going through. But I want to put my focus in on the solution. From a young age, I learned, if you haven't read my story, I'm on tamikaschambers.com. But from an early age, what many people think is a very traumatic experience, I experienced childhood sexual abuse. And from then on, I realized the power of prevention. That when I finally said those words no, and it meant something, I said, oh, I do have a voice. And how everything just actually changed when I ran outside from the person that was abusing me, and everything was lit up. Everything was still the same, as I mentioned in my book, Bent Not Broken, the manuscript I'm working on. Everything seemed the same, but it had this glistening, this glow to it, that I had entered, if you will, another realm of my life. The doors opened once I finally realized that I did have the power to say no. And so I realized that when I took the route of nursing, and I've shared this, a little bit of it, but when I took the route of nursing, my father was a complete opposition to my mother goal to become a nurse. She wanted to be a nurse. He wasn't available. He did everything to my mother's, just factual wise. He wasn't there anytime she wanted to study. He would basically just make himself not available, and eventually throwing her books away in the trash can. So in the garbage can outside of our apartment at that time in Memphis. So I took her detour, because I remember saying that if he may have stopped you, but he will not stop me. And this detour actually led me to learning more about health. It actually put in my face, I came face up with so many people that was suffering in the hospital, their time, their money, their energy away from loved ones to take care of these physical complaints that were often, you could see, deeply rooted emotionally, socially, psychologically, spiritually. And there was just something on my heart place that I knew it was deeper than that. And as time went on, I met, I developed a circle of influence from readers like Louise Hay, Wayne Dyer. But when I think about this podcast, the book that I often refer to when I think about illnesses and conditions is Louise Hay, You Can Heal Yourself. And so I know that stress is a major component, you guys, of a lot of these health conditions that we have out there, that many people, and it's not so much the stress, it's more about how we are responding to the events, the experiences in our lives. And our experiences are not to make us bitter. I learned it a long time ago as I was walking through the living room of our first house. It was one of the houses that I was abused in. And I learned, this thought came to me, that life is about building character. And so it's not about weakening us, but it's about looking at, okay, how can I learn from this? What do I need to reach down inside of me to bring it out? What am I? It's more about you have something in you that really helps you to weather life storms. We have it in us. We're made in our Creator. So guess what? The Creator is still around. Earth is still around. And many of the foods that we have out there, the plant-based foods, the veggies, are the very foods that are there to help us maintain and sustain a certain level of health. Now, you may have heard that a lot of people went on the plant-based diet. Now, I'm not recommending diets, but their food plan consisted majority of plants. And they were able to get off their cholesterol medications and able to get off, just different things, blood pressure medications. And I know that our meal plan, what we eat, will affect how our body responds, how our body maintains a certain level of harmony, that we are not victims of life circumstances. We are not a victim of our mother, our father, or whoever having high blood pressure, having cholesterol issues. Yeah, research says that we're at risk for it, but it does not mean that you have to succumb to it, that you still have an individual choice to make. So as I talk more about digestive health, I want to clarify that we are not victims of our health. We actually have a divine working system, our body, our vehicle for our message, our vehicle for our truth, that requires certain nutrients. Science have it right. Our body likes, calcium for the bones, and a certain level of magnesium for bones and heart. It likes lutein and the different antioxidants that we take in. It keeps our cells from rusting and keep them in great shape. So when people talk about diet, talk about meal plan, a lot of times they say, "Oh, I'm just going to eat whatever I want to eat." And I remember at that point, I felt the same way. I was exercising. I was like, good, I can exercise and eat whatever I want to eat. But then the realization came that whatever I eat gets into my system, and no amount of exercise can bring it out, right? Unless somebody gives you charcoal or you vomit it up. But if something goes in your system, it affects you, right? So if it's high cholesterol, then your body may hold on and store that cholesterol, because the body uses cholesterol to make vitamin D. The body uses cholesterol to keep the cells insulated. So our body needs a certain amount of cholesterol, and often it holds on to that, for storage. So it's about really getting the right balance. And for me, as I've mentioned, that I like to do the meal plan. I like to have a health plan, at least something set, a flexible plan of actually, what days I'm going to eat what. So I have certain days that I'm going to eat omega-3. You can check my blog on that at tamikaschambers.com. I'm on medium.com. I have days that I eat grains, no meat. Days that I eat, our family, we do home cooking even on Saturdays. And some Saturdays, yes, we go out to eat, some weekends. But a lot of times, more often, we try to make something. So we have this book, and we're going to get started with homeschool and our menu for the next few months about making stuff. But one thing that I try to do is definitely try to keep vegetables in my meals. So whether it's snacks, even broccoli and the salad dressings, even apple, including your fruit, including a protein with your fruit to help your blood sugars maintain themselves. But even things like that, small things like that, don't start all at once. Do it once at a time and really pay attention to how your body feel. And know that if you have done something for a long time, your body takes time to adjust. And just like if you're on medications, if you've ever taken medications, many times, often your body adjusts to that medication, that it comes to rely on that medication. Well, just like with foods, it likes sugar. Sugar gives the cells this excitement. It's like adrenaline. And so often we may feel that, oh my gosh, I feel a downer, because I'm not eating as much sugar. Well, just like any other program where you have really continued to ingest something, you can wean yourself off of sugar by slowly incorporating foods that have sugar in them. Carrots, you guys, your fruits, fructose, sugar is in your fruit. So by increasing that and going away a lot from your sweet foods, you can definitely help your body maintain a certain level of glucose without needing all the excess sugar. I was never really a cake person. My sugar foods came from Now-Laters, which is a principle I have about healthy eating. Came from, pecan pie, and I really don't have those cravings for them like I used to. And it's because of the conscious change, the intentional change to my health, and the know that I am not a victim of my health. Just because there is diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, cholesterol issues on my side, doesn't mean I have to have it. When I found out that my cholesterol level in my 20s, that my triglycerides were like 200 and something, I'm trying to remember. I know my cholesterol was high, but I had brought my triglycerides down from a significant high level within a certain amount of months to like I think I was down in 70s. And then recently, the last time I had a check, I was 48. And as you know, triglycerides need to be under 150. So you are not a victim of your health. And I know exercising has helped. Walking has really helped. And so you can change and it's not so much change, but you can take care of your vehicle the way that you want to. The more knowledgeable you are, which means this week I focused on, or actually last week I focused on being a student of your health. The more knowledge you are about something, the more you're apt to make changes. And so for me, when I found out that there was heart disease and diabetes in my family, I was like, okay, let me try to make some changes. Let me learn about this and let me make some changes. And it wasn't so much I focused on nursing at that time. It was more about focusing on what to exclude out of my meal plan, like not to eat a lot of salt. And then eventually it led to learning more about, when I went through integrated nutrition, learning about vegetables and really incorporating vegetables, even though I had been doing it, but really doing a better job at incorporating veggies. You can do them you can incorporate veggies in smoothies. Every meal can have a green vegetable, bell peppers, cucumbers, zucchini. We don't have to stay with our traditional meals. Bacon, eggs. And if you do stay with bacon and eggs, guess what? Saute some spinach and some onions on the side of that, or some kale. Have some kale chips. Do something a little extra for your body. And eventually you'll start to see it's not extra. It is just my way of taking care of my body. America is known as a rush country, but it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to rush, because the rushing causes us many times to miss out on the wonderful things of life. And one of them is your body. And another one that I'm talking about this month is your digestive health. That you are worth every second, every minute, every energy, every money that you spend to put yourself in the best health possible so that you can do the work that you are here to do. So I just wanted to share that this week, and this week going forward, we'll talk a little bit more about digestive health and about stress and how that affects our digestive health. So I definitely try not to have any scripted stuff. So I'll be kind of going, as I feel the need to talk about things to you guys. That's what I share. Like even this morning, there was no plan to share what I had for breakfast, but I did share it. And I hope that it can, if you take a look at it, again on WordPress, my TamikaSchambers.com, you will see what I did just with even a burrito. I decided to have a breakfast pizza. And often we just need to change around our meal plan to actually feel like, okay, I have a little excitement, a little creativity in me. You do have it. And so how does that create a generational love cycle? For one, your kids see what you're eating and they see the creativity, from breakfast burrito to pizza. And I've fixed pizzas for my children in the past, but they see what you're eating. The more you talk about the foods that are important to their health, the more you become the example, the more apt they're able to repeat what you're doing. Because often, if you look at it, you guys, our children are repeating our behaviors, our talks. If you sit back and watch your children, they'll say and do things, and it will remind you of yourself or whoever else they have been around. And so why not set those good habits early on and say, hey, you know what? I didn't used to eat my veggies. I didn't used to do that. But now I realize the importance of taking care of my health. And not only my health, but being the example for my children, because to me, that is what love is all about, is that we break the cycle of pain. We break the cycle of the standard American way, the SAD diet, or SAD way, actually. We break the cycle by creating a cycle of love, by intentionally creating a cycle of love, that I am going to help you take care of yourself. And not only am I going to say it, but I'm going to do it. It's no longer do as I say and not as I do. How about do as I do? Let's focus on that and be intentional about the legacy that we leave. We can leave a legacy of possessions, but what about leaving a legacy where our children pay attention to their health? Will they really pay attention to their body and do what they need to do? So this is Tamika Chambers for Create a Generational Love Cycle. The way you can start creating this love cycle with digestive health is by being the example and by putting together some type of meal plan for you and your family, and really being conscious about when you sit and fix that breakfast, or when you go through the drive-through, is there anything else you can add that has a little green in it, that has some veggies in it? Green is the way. Green helps cleanse us. What can you do with that? And then take it home to your children and show them the way. Show them your light. Show them their body has purpose, and show them that they have work to do here on earth. All right, so I'll talk to you guys soon. You take care of yourself. Find me on TamikaSchambers.com. I'm also on Medium and your social medias, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.